Hi guys, this is Ari again, coming to you with more reviews. So before I get into that, I just want to state the reason why I don't go into a lot of details about the books is because if you've never read it before, I don't want to give too much away. I don't like to ruin anything for anyone, and I really want you to enjoy it. So therefore, I try to not give too much away and just tell you how I feel about the books, how much I like it. So let's just jump into the first one. These books about Katee Roberts. The first one I read is The Gargoyle's Captive. Now, this involves a book I read prior, The Court of the Vampire Queen. There was a character named Grace, and I wanted to know what happened to her. And I went searching and I found this book, and this is an actual series of books. So I'm reviewing 4 books today, and just telling you if I like them or not. And just off the bat, I liked all 4 of them. These books are under 200 pages. They're pretty much start off following all the same format. So Grace has given up 7 years of her life. She made a deal with a demon. These novels are a deal with a demon novels. They're a series. So she's done 4 so far. The 5th one comes out in April. It involves Grace and Bram, the first one. So again, Grace has given up 7 years of her life. She's being auctioned off. And Bram and her have a certain history that you will have to read about. But suffice it to say, it is a very good book. The next book that I read was The Kraken Sacrifice. Now, know that in this realm, it is a demon realm. So these creatures are humanoid. And they do give Katee Roberts does give the history of how they became this way. So the Kraken Sacrifice involves Catalina and Thane. And the great thing I like about Katee Roberts' writing is that she gives her characters such depth, and she gives the character. And they're wonderful, and her books kind of range. It's like watching a movie but in your head, because it involves everything: drama, comedy, suspense. It's just the gamut. And I really like her books because of that. And so the Kraken Sacrifice involved all of that. And I like the way she describes her characters. So you don't have to wonder what they look like. She really paints a beautiful picture. The next book I read after The Kraken Sacrifice was The Dragon's Bride. Now, The Dragon's Bride involved Brer and Soul. And they're probably the only characters so far that had to get married, just because of the way the dragon's territory was set up. And I like the way they connected, or the way she has them connecting in their relationship. And her trying to figure out what she wants to do and the person she wants to become. I find that most of her books really does take in the aspect of everything a woman is and can be, versus other books that I read that really kind of caters to just getting a man. Certain books can be like that. So that was The Dragon's Bride. And then the last book I read in this series, and FYI, I did not read these books in the order in which the author wrote them. I read these books in the order in which I ordered them. And because I was curious about Grace, that's the first book I got. So the last book I bought in this series was The Demon's Bargain. The Demon's Bargain was a little bit different than the other three in a sense where the first three people were, I don't want to use the word coerced into doing or taking the demon's bargain, but this particular book, the woman actually needed help, and so she conjured the demon. So that's the difference. It was still the same scenario of her potentially giving 7 years, being in the demon realm. And they do go into detail about how that works, and you're giving those 7 years. Again, what I found interesting about this book is, and I'll go a little bit further with this particular book with the Demon's Bargain. The reason why they call it that is because the demon she summoned was the bargainer demon that was in the other three books. He wasn't the main one, but he was one of them in the other three books. And he is the main character in this book. In this book, The Bargainer's Demon is about Lenora and Ramanos. And I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, or they call it they name wrong. But unfortunately, I don't have a hearing reference on what it would normally sound like. And it doesn't just do a pronunciation in the book. So I can only go off of what it looks like. But I found this book entertaining as well. There is, and I'm sure if you've ever read Katee Roberts' book, there is a lot of a certain type of activity in the book. But I think in these four books versus, say, the Neon God series, it does more of a storyline, which I actually like more. And I find that her writing is just, it's fascinating. That's the only word I can come up with right now. It's just fascinating. Anyway, that is my review of these books. Completely enjoyed every last one of them. And if you haven't read these books, I hope you consider reading them. And if you have read them, I always encourage people to read it again. There are always things you missed, always an eye opener. And I don't know, I enjoy doing that. So anyway, that's it for my reviews. Please please subscribe, and please leave any comments you may have. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Bye for now.